Okay, let us start. Any doubt regarding previous discussion? Okay. kVAh, kilovolt ampere hours tariff. So normally this is a recent trend of tariff which is included since 1st of April 2020. kVA based tariff, which we have discussed some brief about this yesterday. This is to motivate the industrial and non-domestic consumers to maintain the power factor. Normally kVAh, if energy charges are based on kVAh, ultimately there is an indirect what we can say, the incentives to those people regarding improved power factor who are having the power factor near to unity, because we are having the active power, reactive power and apparent power. So if they are feeding apparent power, that is kVAr, means kVA reactive, then definitely the penalty will be get imposed because their kVAh reading will be more. What I am saying, are you able to understand? So when kVAh is a vector sum of kWh and kVAr. So kVAr, if any consumer is feeding kVAr, that means kilovolt ampere reactive, किंवा सिंपल भाषेमध्ये आपण म्हणू S म्हणजे काय, S is equal to P plus Q. P is active power, Q is reactive power. This is a vector sum, this is not a direct sum, vector sum. So S is equal to P plus Q. So normally earlier we were having the energy charges based on P, but now we are implementing with S, means kVAh. So if you have kVAr, that is a Q, reactive power, it is there. If reactive power is 0, then definitely the power factor will be unity. And kVAh is equal to kWh. kVAh is equal to kWh. kVAr is equal to 0. But when you are having the kVAr, definitely the consumer is feeding reactive power and the consumer will get penalized by more reading of kVAh, so more reading of S. So that is the important thing what it is in kVAh tariff. So prime objective, that is kVAh based billing, is encourage the consumer to maintain the unity power factor. That is what I just told you, to achieve the loss reduction, improve the system stability and power quality. So very important thing is that system stability, power quality, all are associated with power factor. So once these are associated with power factor, then you must think maintaining the power factor unity. Definitely the power quality will be improved, definitely the loss reduction will be there, definitely improving the system stability will be there. So system persons will be also happy, consumer will be also happy because is active, that is yes, that is a apparent power, it is less consumed and hence billing to the consumer will be less. Okay. So kVAh billing method, ST and LT consumer, it is applied for ST consumer, that is high tension consumer, for LT consumer, low tension consumer. ST consumers, those consumers are having load more than 20 kilowatt. ST billing kVAh based is now given. So all distributor licenses, म्हणजे ज्यांना आपण लायसन्सी किंवा ऑथराइज्ड डिस्ट्रीब्युशन कंपनी असं म्हटलेलं आहे. फॉर एक्झाम्पल MSCDCL, Torrent Power, Tata Power, Reliance Power. So all these are they have to require to take necessary steps in regarding the kVAh billing, and they have to go for ST consumer kVAh billing as per the Maharashtra State Electricity Regulatory Commission, that is MERC order. So load factor, that incentive that MSEDCL submits the reason why behind the introduction of the load factor incentive was motive to consumers towards the utilization of 100% sanctioned contract load. Means what it has been said that की load factor if you improve load factor based याच्यामध्ये एक incentive फक्त MSEDCL लाच देते आहे की that is load factor based. Normally people are having 100 watt. मी आता इथे kVAh based tariff केलं आपण kVAh based tariff केलं तर इथे कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट डिमांड असतो. कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट डिमांड हा kVA मध्ये असतो. समजा तुमचा जर कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट डिमांड 100 असेल 100 तर यू मस्ट हॅव द kVA रीडिंग म्हणजे मॅक्स डिमांड किंवा MD दॅट शुड नॉट क्रॉस 100 थ्रूआउट द मंथ. जर तो क्रॉस झाला समजा तर तुम्हाला पेनल्टी भरायला लागेल. 100 इज द MD kVA but normally it is always 49 45 means around 50% of the contract. Means what happens if you are utilizing less amount of energy than that of you have contracted. लक्षात मी काय बोलतोय समजतंय का? 50% लोड फॅक्टर. सो लोड फॅक्टर इज 50% म्हणजे तुम्ही जर समजा 100 kVA चा डिमांड दिला आहे तुम्ही 45 kVA वापरताय तर दिस इज 45% युटिलायझेशन. So this will increase the burden over the system. So load factor based incentive up to 7%. If you are maintaining your contract demand more than 70% or 80%, म्हणजे तुमचा 100 kVA आहे आणि तुमचा कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट डिमांड हा 100 kVA आहे आणि यू आर युटिलायझिंग 70 to 80 kVA ऑन एन ॲव्हरेज असं जर असेल तर यू मे हॅव द लोड फॅक्टर इन्सेंटिव्ह. सो दॅट इज गिवन बाय ओनली MSEDCL which is giving you around 7% of your billing. So load factor incentive that can be implemented for maintaining the load factor. So when you are maintaining the load factor means somehow you are making the system stabilized. In kVAh meter, that means kVAh metering, that concept of kVAh tariff, that particularly the electricity commonly considered three variable parameter plus at least one constant charge. Particularly the variable components in electrical energy, that is active energy kWh, reactive energy kVAr we know, and apparent energy kVA. So apparent energy, that is kVA, that we are considering. Ata H is the parameter, that is power into time, or that is what we called as a unit of energy. So if kVAh based billing tariff, fixed demand charges are levied on the apparent power kVA. So energy charges are levied on apparent kVA. In future energy charges will be levied on basis of the apparent kVA consumption, which eliminates the requirement of charging active and reactive energy separately. So what you have in particular that we are having the electrical energy, active energy, we are having the electrical energy, reactive energy, we are having the vector sum of active and reactive, that is the kVAs, and we are having the kVA based billing. It may be fixed or based on the demand charges, that what I told you, MD. The MD जर समजा तुमचा max MD charges are there, समजा kVAs तुमचं kVA जर समजा तुमचा 100 असेल आणि MD समजा तुमचा महिन्यामध्ये एकदाच 90 गेलेला आहे आणि बाकी संपूर्ण महिना तो 40 45 60 वगैरे आहे तर 90 kVA पकडून फॉर नंबर ऑफ आवर्स म्हणजे kVAh the tariff is designed म्हणजे 90 kVA into number of hours of a day 24 into number of days of month 30. So 90 into 24 into 30. So that will be your kVAh units. Accordingly the charges will be applied. Okay. So in kVAh based billing, fixed demand charges also levied on kVA. Energy charges are levied on particularly काही केस मध्ये तुम्हाला kVA पण चार्ज केलं जाईल, kVAh पण चार्ज केलं जाईल. जर तुम्ही kVA जे काय कंझ्युम करता that will be charged. kVAh actually तुम्ही कंझ्युम करत नाही, पण you are feeding to the system, and you are feeding to the system means you are feeding to the loss of the system. म्हणून kVAs तुम्हाला जर kVAr reactive जर चार्ज केला तर that will be addition to your bill, means what we can say, instead of penalty that will be your instead of incentive that will be your penalty. मग तुम्हाला काय करायचं, you have to reduce kVAr and you have to improve kVA. So that is what you have to think. So the energy charges are based on the apparent energy kVAr, which is eliminating the requirement of changing the active and reactive separately. काही केसमध्ये जर kVA वर घेतलं तर, काही केसमध्ये kWh आणि kVAr सेपरेट घेतलं तर तुम्हाला दोघांची बेरीज करावं लागेल. kVA वर घेतलं तर तुम्हाला ते सेपरेट चार्जेस करण्याची गरज नाही. So like these different concepts are applied. As far as the existing tariff is concerned, the present consumers are billed on basis of active energy consumption, that is kWh. Everybody is knowing about this. सगळ्यांनाच हे माहित आहे की आपण ऍक्टिव्ह एनर्जीवर बिलिंग करत आहोत. kVA's consumption when multiplied by the applicable tariff for the consumer, the energy charges will be available for consumer to pay. So the effect of reactive energy is considered through power factor penalty. जेव्हा तुमचं kWh बिलिंग असेल तेव्हा, किंवा incentive mechanism is also decided. Suppose your power factor is below 0.9, then you have to pay penalty, and if you maintain power factor more than 0.95, you will get the incentive for the power factor improvement. So that was the earlier provision what we have. Then necessity of why this system is there. Existing tariff, that is kWh based tariff, we know we are having the power factor incentive. We are having the power factor incentive if your power factor is more than 95, and if you are having the power factor penalty if it is more than 0.9. So that is okay, right? No problem at all. But what is problem with the existing system, and then why it is necessity of the kVAh tariff. So kVAh tariff, especially both active and reactive power energies are consumed. So active energy is consumed by consumer to perform the work, and reactive energy is generated by the consumer and fed to the grid, so that there is a pollution in the grid in terms of power degradation. Okay, लक्षात येत आहे का मी काय बोलतोय? Reactive energy is decreasing the quality. So the reactive energy occupies the capacity of electrical network and reduces useful capacity of the system, generation and distribution. Hence, the consumption also needs to be built. कोणतं consumption? Reactive consumption also needs to be built. So kWh billing is associated with power factor incentive and penalty mechanism. But considering kVA billing, which is especially an input incentive penalty mechanism and a separate mechanism for the same, no more requirement of power factor penalty or power factor what we can say incentive, that to be incorporated, because kVAh or kVA itself it is a vector sum of reactive and active power. So you need not require separate penalty provision or separate power factor incentive provision. Okay.